Hey everyone. All right, happy Friday. It is happening. Ricky Pearsall will be activated to the 53-man roster on Saturday. It has to be done by 1 p.m. He is set to play against the Chiefs on Sunday at Levi Stadium. So Ricky Pearsall will be activated. He is a full go. He is 100% healthy. He will play week 7 versus the Chiefs. So I think this is huge. I think the team is happy. He's excited. I know there's been a little chatter about how he was out of breath when he kind of came to the huddle, but it was, I think, more excitement. So it's not like he hasn't been working out. It's not like he's winded. It was just the excitement. I mean, I know when I'm excited and I run over to do something, I'm like having catching my breath because I'm so excited. So I think that's what it was more than him being winded because he's not physically fit. So Ricky Pearsall, I posted some videos in my shorts feed and shows him how smooth he is running routes. Now, he is a weapon that the 49ers drafted in the first round because he's so good against man coverage. He gets open because he's so smooth in his route running. I talked to Diameter Lenore, who spent a little bit of time running against him in training camp and OTAs because Ricky Pearsall was kind of injured, shoulder, hamstring injury through training camp. But then he had the horrible armed robbery attempt on August 31st. And Diameter Lenore told me that he's a finesse runner. He's got to be patient. And so it's going to change how cornerbacks are going to have to play the 49ers because of Ricky Pearsall being active. Now, August 31st, not that long ago, Ricky Pearsall was the victim of a gunshot wound, went into his chest and out kind of his lat muscle. So what he was saying is that he couldn't raise his hand over his, or he couldn't lift his elbow over his shoulder for quite some time. So obviously he couldn't high point a ball. Kind of important as a receiver. So now that he is fully healthy, I was in the locker room last night and I dropped the information on this channel that he had 27 people that he had to accommodate tickets to get to the game. 27 friends and family are coming to the game on Sunday, which told me that he was going to play. Now, obviously, it's now official. Kyle Shanahan said they're going to activate him. He said he looked at me, he's taking his iPad, running out of the locker room. He's like, I gotta go home and study now. So just so happy to see a guy who's been through so much. And the expectations are always so high for first round picks. So for him to finally be able to get on the field, I'm sure he'll be nervous the first couple snaps that he's out there, but really good to see him be able to finally step on the field in week 7. And just a remarkable recovery, right? It's August 31st, gunshot wound. I mean, when we first heard that, I'm sure when you first heard that, it was like, oh my God, is he going to survive? Is he out for the year? What's going to happen? And then he was up and out of the hospital in less than 24 hours. He was talking to his teammates at their end of the year party or beginning of the year party. And then, he was back in the weight room the next day, not lifting, but like talking to guys. I think it was really important for him to be around his teammates, around the organization. And he told me about a week ago, he's like, I don't know what I would do. He's like, this organization and the situation I'm in has helped me get through this. And he has only said good things about John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, his teammates that have really helped him get to the point where he is now, where he is going to be able to step on the field and play. So really excited. Ricky Pearsall's NFL debut on Sunday versus the Chiefs. What a huge game this is going to be. Now, there are a few injuries. I think that Kyle Shanahan did say that he would have activated Ricky Pearsall regardless of Juwan Jennings' status, but Juwan Jennings is out for Sunday's game with a hip injury. Kyle Shanahan said that he doesn't think it's long-term or serious, but he's not playing this week. He hopes to have him back in the following weeks. So Chiefs come to town on Sunday. Cowboys come to town the next week after that, and then they have a bye. Now, after the bye is where they think they could get Dre Greenlaw back. There's a potential of getting maybe Yetur Gross-Matos back. Not sure how Talanoa Hufanga, how long he's going to be out. So there are several players that are out on injury reserve that could come back after the bye. So they've got to get through this Kansas City Chiefs game, the visit from the Dallas Cowboys, and a bye week. So then after that, there is potential that players could be making their return. So out for the game, it is Juwan Jennings and 2 kickers. Jake Moody is still out. He is not going on IR, but he is not going to play next week either. So they think they're going to get Jake Moody back after the bye. I think that's when they go to Tampa. It's week to week. I know what the schedule is. I think it's Tampa after the bye, so I take it one week at a time, just like the players. Just kidding. Anyways, two kickers are out. Matthew Wright, Jake Moody out for Sunday's game, which means Anders Carlson will be he's on the practice squad. He'll be elevated. Now, Matthew Wright is going to go on IR. So Anders Carlson could come up. They could sign him to the 53 or they could promote him. They have a couple choices there. So I think they just promote him. That way, Ricky Pearsall can be on the 53 and then they're set. So good news. Jordan Elliott, Malik Collins, Jordan Mason, all no injury designation, and they will play. Questionable, Kevin Givens, defensive tackle, and Darrell Luter, cornerback. Those two guys are questionable. But the fact that Jordan Mason is a full go, Jordan Elliott and Malik Collins, I think that makes a huge difference, especially for that defensive front that is going to have to try and contain Patrick Mahomes on Sunday. Also, Kareem Hunt is such a powerful runner. I just watched the Saints game in week 5. And Kareem Hunt, man, he powers through. And, he's only been back with the team for 2 games. He already leads the team in rushing with 175 yards. So Kareem Hunt is a guy that the 49ers are going to need to contain, and Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott are really important parts of making sure that he doesn't get to the second level. Another matchup I wrote about, I did write the 5 players to watch this week. Ricky Pearsall is number 1, but the another one, Fred Warner versus Travis Kelce. I mean, this matchup is one to keep an eye on because Travis Kelce is Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target. I mean, he has been for years, but now Hollywood Brown is out, top wide receiver. Rashee Rice is out. Isaiah Pacheco is out. So really, the guy that Patrick Mahomes is focusing on now is Travis Kelce. Had a slow start to the season, but in week 5 had a pretty big game. And we all know what happened in the Super Bowl. Dre Greenlaw goes out. Travis Kelce had 1 catch in the first half, and then second half went completely nuts and basically helped propel the Kansas City Chiefs to their Super Bowl win of 2023. All right, so we won't have to talk about that anymore. But I think what the most important part of this game is how well Brock Purdy does against man coverage. So Ricky Pearsall could change that for him. Now, it's hard, I think, for a guy getting in their first game to really affect it, but he does have the potential to. I mean, Ricky Pearsall, they don't have any film on him. They don't know what he can do. Defensive backs are going to kind of have to feel him out on their routes and when they first start out the game. And I think he's really good. I mean, I've watched him during a little bit of training camp. I watched him on the field just running routes on air, and he's really smooth coming out of his breaks. He can change directions really quickly. I mean, let's face it, the injury was to his upper body, not to his lower body. So he's been able to work on his route running. Even when he was kind of making his way back from the gunshot wound, he was kind of going through walkthrough on the field, going through his routes and, making sure he knew where he was supposed to be. I mean, like I've said so many different times, Kyle Shanahan makes these wide receivers in his system do a lot of things. They need to know all 11, everybody's job. They need to pass protect. They need to run block. So, I mean, all of that factors into how much Ricky Pearsall plays. So I think they'll be careful with him at the start. They don't want to overuse him. But with Deebo Samuel not being 100%, I think it's important that Ricky is out there. And with Deebo not being 100%, I think it's really important that Jordan Mason is out there because Deebo Samuel is still dealing with a wrist injury. He was in the blue non-contact jersey Wednesday and Thursday. And so I think it really is important that they've got other guys that can carry the weight on the offense. Of course, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, they're all going to be out there. Brandon Ayuk, of course, as well. But I think it'll be interesting wrinkle for Ricky Pearsall making his debut on Sunday. All right, if I get any more information, I will drop it here. Please subscribe, leave comments. I know you guys told me that you want a daily update, so here it is. I will try to do it as often as possible. But really I want to say thanks so much for joining here, kind of building this community and, let me know what you'd like to hear. I will tell you everything I hear in the locker room. I've talked to a bunch of different players. I'm probably going to write about what I talked to Jordan Mason about since he is 100% full go for Sunday. So stay tuned for that, and I'll try to drop another update on Saturday. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Talk to you guys soon.